professional work, correct, for DC Comics?
The work that mattered, yeah.
Yeah.
I did a couple backup stories and then talked about, yeah.
What were the backup stories?
There's a Shade that changed, her name's Shade, she was in Suicide Squad.
No way.
I did a Secret Origins, like a 15-pager, and then I did a Warlord backup feature. And then they gave me Hawk and Dove.
Wow, that's cool.
Ethan, you need to find those books.
I'm going to find those books. We're at a comic book convention. I think somebody
There you go. There you go. There you go.
So how was Hawk and Dove?
Hawk and Dove was
For you?
it was a great beginning in terms of kind of everything that happened at Hawk and Dove would capsulize what I would go through now for 20 years. It had politics behind the scenes. It was very competitive.
But you were a young man. How old were you?
Well, and the thing is, I was everybody's fourth choice. I had a buddy named Art Taber. A lot of you guys know him. He's a fantastic inker. He sometimes pencils, but he was trying to get more penciling gigs, and he told me, I'm going up for this Hawk and Dove gig. I was a huge Teen Titans fan. I said, look, I'm gonna hand in some samples too. And he's like, yeah, I didn't like Hawk and Dove, but it's a gig. And then I met the Kiesels at San Diego of '86, and they were putting together a Hawk and Dove proposal. And I said, please, and I said, I'll do the sample pages for you. And I guess he turned them down, and 3 other guys turned them down. So they had, Bumpkus, Liefeld, over here going, me.
And how old were you?
I'd be 19.
You were 19?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because I had, those 2 backup features and other stuff burned through by 18 years. So I'm 19 years old, Hawk and Dove. And literally, I grew up, I loved Hawk and Dove, I was a huge Titans fan, but Dove was always the weak link of Hawk and Dove when they were 2 guys. They were 2 brothers. He looked like a ninny. I mean, he had his gov. I mean, he looked like Baby Huey's friend. Like, he belonged in the DC Universe. He had like a little bird cap and bird panty and Hawk had the sweet, like you said earlier today, we were talking vision. Hawk had the visual. Dove was terrible visually. Well, they said, let's do Dove, and we're going to make her a girl this time. And I was sweet. And I sent in like 15 designs of what I thought Dove would look like as a girl. And I don't know if it was the editor Mike Conlon or Barbara Kiesel. I butt heads with both of them on this, but they were like, no hair. She can't have any hair. You have to put the skull cap on her. And I go, so now we have Dove, the boy, with boobs. Yeah. So the costume's the same, but now we've given Dove breasts. I don't even think I want to draw this anymore. Well, we just don't want her having hair. So then I went home that night because I had like a full head of hair coming out, and she still like the bird thing motif, but she had more like a shawl. But so I went in and put her in a ponytail, and then they called me up 2 weeks to go, Rob, we approved the ponytail. And I'm like, oh man, I get it.
Little things like that.
Yeah,
I know.
You fight for stuff that is so obvious, but you're like, why are we fighting? This is so obvious.
Yeah.
Like literally, the version of Dove that saw print was like my 6th choice. But because she was stripped down to anything ordinary, she really did keep more to the original Dove, but at least I won on the ponytail and hair. And honestly, the book came out and did well. I had no idea. Not until the 4th, there was a letters page in the 4th issue. And again, I was being told how much I stuffed on a daily basis.
Who was telling you that?
Carlin. And Carlin knows this. Carlin is one of the most, at that time, one of the most oppressive. He likes to break rookie pencilers. And there are editors in our business, or were, who that was like, you're going to pay your dues, son. It's like, Hawk and Dove was not a ticket to anywhere for anybody. Everybody else turned it down. So, Scrub Liefeld was the guy. You couldn't find anybody more excited to do that miniseries than me. But it's like, okay, well, we're going to break you too. I'm having a hard time just trying to do this. I'm trying to break it. Well, then in the letters column, it's all this fan notes, all positive. You're like, yeah, we were never going to let you see that. See, you've done issue 5. I was in the middle of drawing issue 5. And then I saw, people are really digging this, because back in that day, nobody knew sales. You didn't have the internet printing sales for Hawk and Dove. I guess it sold very well for them, which I would never have known. But at that point, and Ethan knows the insecurity we all have in comics. You want to know that your work is being well received, because that's what you're going to need your next job on.
Well, did that depress you, or did it motivate you?
Oh,
negative feedback motivated you.
you guys anybody watch 24? You ever watch 24? There's a character on there named Chloe, and last week she like helped save the day. She's in every season, and one guy started praising her. She goes, I don't do praise well. Don't be praised. I'm much better at being criticized. And I go, I think that's me.
Yeah.
I do. I
You channel the negative energy.
Oh, I love it. It means like I did something to piss you off, or that you really don't like, which means you're not ignoring me. And you know, some of you have to listen to and go, yeah, those cap man boobs were bad. That was bad, you know. And I cannot tell you how many people in my own office were like, Rob, don't let this leave. And I was like, send on the file. Like, I know this. And even I've said this before. Jim Lee called me. Because again, we're doing Heroes Reborn together. Jim Lee calls me. Rob, I just have, I saw, you know, the cap is great. It's really good. The base, here's just what you big man. As your friend, tell me. You need to shrink down that chest. I can do it in Photoshop for you right now. You can't let this go. And I'm like, it's fine, Jim. And I'm like, you know, stop telling me what to do. And to this day I go, man, you looked out for me. And I didn't listen. So occasionally you're a bonehead.
Yeah, but you know, at that period, at that point in your career, we're jumping way ahead, but at that point in your career, it's a whirlwind around you at all times. With all the responsibility that you have, making sure that all those other people hit their deadlines, people that are working for you, as well as all of the stuff. I mean, I do, on a good year, I do a third of the amount of work that you do. And that's still an awful lot. So it's easy to let quality control slip every now and then when you're thinking about what comes after that.
It's the one that haunts me. And again, to this day, that picture never saw print. I mean, it's not, Marvel did not print it. It was like this big in a wizard, but it is like, it goes everywhere. When I'm 90, I'll be like, wow, look at the cat. If you're not familiar with it, his chest is up to here. Okay, it's too big. But anyway.
Well, so Hawkins Dove ended.
Yeah.
It ended with you getting